Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Clint and I like to cook. Now, this evening, I'm going to be cooking a sheet pan, pork chop, and potatoes. It's very simple, it's going to be delicious, and we're going to go ahead and get started right now. All right, the first thing I'm going to do is I've got these smalls yellow potatoes, and I'm going to take them and just slice them in half, and then go ahead and put them in a bowl over here set to the side. So I'll go ahead and get that done real quick. Okay, guys, so I've got the potatoes cut up, as you can see there. Like I said, I just cut them in half. We'll set them off to the side. Now I'm going to take just a small bowl here, and I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of smoked paprika, 1 tablespoon of onion powder, 1 tablespoon of garlic powder, and 1 tablespoon of Italian seasonings. And I'm just going to stir that around in there and just kind of get those spices all blended together. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some olive oil and I'm going to pour over the potatoes. Not a whole lot here. I just want enough to kind of cover the potatoes. So I'm going to put a glove on here because I'm going to stir these around. As you can see, I'm just going to kind of fold them around a little bit and let that olive oil cover the potatoes. That ought to work pretty good there. Now what I'm going to do is just take my seasoning, about half of it, and I'm just going to add that into the potato mix there. I'd say that's about half. Now I'm just going to stir that around. Make sure that gets coated well. You can see that. That's looking pretty good. Boy, that smells just awesome. I don't know what to tell you there. All right. Now I'm going to take my lightly greased sheet pan here. I'm going to pour them on there about like that. And then I'm going to try to turn these on the cut side down. So I'll go ahead and arrange these real quick and get that done. Okay, I've got the potatoes all laid out on the pan. So I've gone ahead and I've preheated my oven to 425 degrees. So I'm going to go ahead and put these in the oven and let these start toasting. Okay, so while the potatoes are in there cooking, I'm going to take my pork chops. They're bone in, center loin cuts, and I'm going to start taking my seasoning that we mixed up earlier, and I'm going to start covering the pork chops and just kind of pressing that in a little bit on each side. Now I've got 4 chops. You might have to mix up a little more seasoning if you're going to prepare more. So I'll just go ahead and get these coated real well, and then we're going to set them off to the side for just a minute. We've got the pork chops covered with our seasoning, and we're going to give the potatoes just a little more time to kind of toast there. And so I've got an iron skillet on medium heat right here, and I'm going to use some bacon up. This is some good stuff. I'm going to take a pretty good little spoonful there, and I'm going to add that maybe just a touch more to the skillet. We're going to let that start melting down, because what I'm going to be cooking in here, let me grab them real quick. Is some fresh green beans. I've just kind of cleaned them up there, cut them up just a little bit smaller, and now I'm going to add just a little bit of salt and pepper to that, just a little bit of seasoning. Gotta have that salt and pepper. And last but not least, some cut up onion. We're going to add that, and we're going to go ahead and let those beans start sauteing while the pork chops and everything are in there cooking. So we'll bring this up to heat, and then we're almost ready to get the pork chops on our pan. I went ahead and got the potatoes out and set them on the stove top here. And at this point, what I like to do is I like to squirt the top of these with just a little more olive oil on the potatoes there. And then I'll just squirt some on the bottom here for our pork chops to sit on. Now I'm going to go ahead and just transfer the pork chops over here to the sheet pan. And we're going to go right back into the oven with that. And we're going to let those cook for, I'd say, 30 to 40 minutes until the internal temperature is 145 degrees. So I'll go ahead and get that back in the oven and let that start cooking. Our green beans and onions have cooked down nicely. They're just about done. I can't wait to have some of those. We just pulled the pan out of the oven, and I want you to look at those potatoes. Pork chops, wow. That is going to be good. All right, I believe we'll go ahead and start making our plate. God, I can't wait to get a hold of those potatoes right there. You talking about going to be good. That pork chop, look at the juices on that. That is going to be delicious. And we'll go ahead and plate some of these green beans and onions. Look at that. Don't get much better than that, guys. That's a country meal. Hey, if that right there don't make you hungry, then I don't know what will. Time to check it out, guys. Man, that pork chop's just so tender. These potatoes. Mmm. Woo. Packed with flavor. I love them green beans too. That's where it's at right there. Thank you guys so much for sticking around. I appreciate it. Y'all have a great night, and God bless.